Rolling?
Yep.
Just get it right in there.
I say we'll get it
Yep.
right.
So, okay, camera.
All right. Scene 27, 1 alpha, take 1.
Has it already been 10 years? I remember arriving to set on the first day and seeing the event chamber and the portal and the whole set that they put together is huge steel structure and being like, okay, wow, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be pretty fucking awesome.
My first memory, or at least one of my standout memories of creating Intersect, there's a scene where I'm walking into the portal and the doors are closing and the portal's rotating, and I think I say, Claudia, let's get that under a microscope and see what we can learn from this. And since all of the set pieces Intersect, they were manually operated, like the doors in the old Star Trek, there was a team full of, I think 10, maybe 12 people spinning the portal, pushing each door shut from the side, and making everything happen in concert, and then of course doing a dolly pullback. And I just remember being amazed at how good it looked after we got it. And in the movie it just looks like it's all automated by computers, and the portal room is a multi-billion-dollar machine. It's not, it's just humans.
My first memory of Intersect was that first shot, the chalkboard shot, where Jason and Leanne's characters were discussing the massive time travel equation written on that equally massive chalkboard, which we made, by the way. I remember thinking, if every shot looks this good, we're gonna be okay. That first shot was on a tripod, and that phrase, friends don't let friends use tripods, was going through my head. So I made sure to always add time for things like dolly shots, using our homemade dolly. And we do a lot of handheld stuff to give the scenes just a bit of extra life, rather than being locked off all the time. Since we didn't own a Steadicam at that point, we would just build things out of metal to help us stabilize the camera for walking shots. We'd spend about half our day getting coverage shots, and probably the rest of the day doing one tricky movement shot. My next memory of the first day was that jackhammer next door.
I remember the jackhammer. I don't remember exactly how we solved that problem. I think it involved greasing a few palms. I'm not totally sure, but I know a couple of our guys went over there and took over the job. That was going to be a major problem, and somehow we managed to overcome it. Got lucky, I guess. I will say the thing that sticks out most to me about the first day of shooting is just how the whole team really came together. The actors, the crew, all the family and friends who helped us get to that point, all the set construction guys, everybody that put all their time into this little baby project. It all just really came together in that moment, and I think when the cameras rolled and the actors were in character and everything just came together, it was magical. It's everybody always talks about their first movie and how you're never going to have that experience again. And day one of Intersect was certainly an experience that I'm sure we'll never have again, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. Movie magic, that's what it was.
My first memory of the Intersect set is going to the big warehouse first day of work and going in and seeing the event chamber set up with like the portal and like there were iPads on the walls and like all the computers, like all clickety clack keyboards and the mouse, and I was just like, this is gonna be real cool. I'm a sci-fi nerd, so I was like, oh, so excited to be part of this. It was also my very first feature film, and I was still in college at the time, so I remember sitting in the green room and doing my homework in between takes. And just feeling so like, oh gosh, Luke and Jason and Leanne and Gus and Abe were so generous with me and with Garrett, the younger actors. They just like shared advice and shared their own experiences in the business and were so encouraging. It was so much fun. It really felt like a little scientist family while we were on set. I also remember that Garrett and I really enjoyed that mouse. Like, guys, we loved that mouse. He was a good friend to us. Miss him dearly.
On the first day of filming for Intersect, I remember I couldn't drive myself. I wasn't old enough to drive myself to set, so my mom had to drive me. I remember walking in and seeing that time machine. That freaking time machine, just floor to ceiling. It looked like a real laboratory out of an actual movie. And I was like, this is it. This is acting. I made it. And I was so stoked. I still am. I'm so proud to have been a part of that production. It set me up for every other acting job I've ever had. I think one of my favorite memories from shooting the movie was when we did the unveil of the time machine. And myself and my fellow scientists got to reveal what we had made to all the reporters flashing their cameras and everything. And most of my family members and friends were extras. So I got to share that. I got to share that memory with them on set because, you know, they were all there with their cameras flashing. It was just a lot of fun. I felt so proud, and in the back of my mind, I was like imagining that I really was a part of the team that was unveiling that time machine. It just made me really proud, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
I think my first day I did the ending, like my last scene, which is always interesting when you do your last scene of the film on your first day. But it was the bomb scene. So I have this bomb strapped to my body. I had to, like, my dialogue and performance consisted of screaming at the top of my lungs, take after take after take. So I remember my throat just not having it. I remember having to do some ADR like years later, and I had to like recreate that whole just screaming at the top of my lungs. So that was awesome.
I was 13 years old. I'm 23 now. The first day I can just think back and remember being so excited for the opportunity. I mean, it was any little girl's dream to be cast in a movie, and I was just so elated and felt so special to, be the chosen one. And I remember the first day was shot at the Adelson's house, was seen with Bill, and we were really just getting to know each other. Everyone was kind of nervous, but little did I know that this day would, expand onto a friendship that I've had for the past 10 years. Ryan Adelson, the whole Adelson family, I've been close with ever since that day, and they're definitely people that I'm going to be friends with for years to come.
I remember the first day of filming was at my house, which was super cool. I remember my brothers were all excited to watch it and see it go down. And then I remember kids in the neighborhood like riding their bikes by, or some of my friends, being like, what's going on? And I remember just telling them, I'm gonna be a movie star, I'm gonna be in a movie. I thought it was so cool. But that first day was cool working with James. I remember just thinking he was just so talented, so it was fun working with James and watching James work. I think one of the most fun memories was the day that we filmed the scene in the alley for the fight scene. That was so fun. I remember we had like this fake 2x4 with the foam board, and I actually got to hit Jacob over the head with it, and we were just horsing around that whole day. I remember we took a break and we went into a biker bar to go to the bathroom, and Jacob forgot he had blood on his head, and he walked into the bar and the guy goes, "Holy shit, man, what's wrong with your face?" And he was freaking out. That was so funny. And then I also remember in that scene we at the end we did a stare off. We did a stare off with, I think it was Tommy was his name. And literally every time that we did the stare off, we started crying, laughing. I think we must have taken 40 takes just to get that one right. And I was just holding everything back in me, trying not to laugh.
My first day on set, I think it was when I am beating up poor D'Artagnan in a schoolyard with my other bully friends, and I was super pumped. It was my first time being in an actual movie, which was really cool, and my first time playing a bad guy. And I'm not a bully in real life, I promise, and so being able to act really mean was pretty exciting for me. I thought it was going to be a fun time, and it was. I loved working with everybody. I loved being able to act alongside D'Artagnan, Ryan and Kelsey, and I loved being able to work with Gus and Luke, and I just had a great time on that first day and every other day after that. I think my favorite day was when we were filming the fight scene out in Scottsdale. Very hot day that day, but I had such a fun time in that alleyway, getting to just have some fun with my cast, and yeah, it was a good time.
I just remember the countless days running and running and running in the 110 hot degree Arizona weather. That is something that I definitely don't miss. But those experiences are what made the movie and what made everybody so close.
Okay, my first day. Well, it deserves a little backstory. I was contacted by a couple of brothers named Luke and Gus, who asked me to be in the film that they couldn't really describe and didn't have a script for. So based on their audacity alone, I said yes, and I'm glad I did, because I was, on my first day on the set, introduced to a fine young actor named D'Artagnan, and we did a pretty sweet little walk and talk scene. So that was my first day, and so based on the names of the talented people I worked with, Luke, Gus, and D'Artagnan, my first day was a dream. But the most important thing is that I'm proud to be in your film, Luke and Gus. I wish that I had worked with the terrific older actors that the terrific younger actors grew into, but that wasn't in the script, which to this day I've never read. But that doesn't matter, because you got it done, and you did it good. And I hope this turns into a long and fruitful relationship in the short time that we have left. Adios, and thank you.